I am very excited to talk about what is the most groundbreaking product that we've launched in Nansen's history today. And I think this product represents a new way to trade. Before we get into the product, though, I do think it's important to start with the why. There's a lot of craziness going on in crypto all the time. And for me, I get up in the morning because I want to create or help create a world where every asset is tokenized, which means that billions of people can become owners, and where blockchains are the new financial fabric. This is the world I want to create. And when I think about the name of this conference, TOKEN2049, in the year of 2049, I think all of these things will have come true. Now, our mission at Nansen to create this world is to surface the signal and create winners. We believe that if we can do this well, if we can help investors navigate what's happening on blockchains so that they grow their portfolios and become winners, they're going to reinvest into the space, and this is going to help us create even better infrastructure and even better products. That's why we exist as a company. How many of you have ever tried using our product, Nansen? Raise your hand. A few of you. Looks like we have some people to convert here. That's good. We've spent 6 years building the best on-chain analytics platform, and we've enabled more than 1 million users to win on-chain. Mostly these are on-chain investors who use our product. And when they use our product, they have access to almost 500 million labeled addresses. We are the best in the world at figuring out who is behind an address, and most of that work is done agentically. We also have the fastest data platform. We can sift through tens of billions of transactions to give you answers in less than a second. And we support every chain that matters, whether you're on Bitcoin, Ethereum, other EVMs, Layer 2s, Solana, Sui, Tron, you name it. You can find it all in our product. But there's always been one big problem with our product. The most consistent feedback we've gotten over the years is simply that it is hard to use. Where should I start? Which dashboard should I look at? What does this metric mean? And what the hell is smart money? So instead of trying to incrementally fix this by making the product a little bit better, we decided to imagine what investing looks like in 2030. And in 2030, I personally think that dashboards are dead. Play a little violin for dashboards. They're going to be dead in 2030. Instead of spending a lot of time building dashboards, maybe looking at dashboards, I think all of us are going to be chatting with data. We're going to be speaking with data. This is the future of investing. And it's a totally different paradigm if you think of the user experience for the products we're going to have in 2030. And so instead of waiting for 2030 to arrive, we said, why don't we try to build that product today? And that product is now available in the App Store for both iPhone and Android. You can download it. It is free, so you can get started even right away. I'm not going to be offended if you take up your phone to search for Nansen AI in the App Store. You can start using it right away. And what is Nansen AI? It is effectively a research team in your pocket that's available 24/7. This is an AI agent that is equipped with real-time on-chain data, tens of billions of transactions at its fingertips, 450 plus million labeled addresses so that you know what the different entities that are active on chain actually are. And it supports every chain that you actually want to use. And you can see on the screen what the homepage looks like. You're greeted by a message, hopefully, that your portfolio is up to date. It could be down sometimes too. We take no responsibility of that. Hopefully it's going to be up when you open up the app. And we've built this product for on-chain investors specifically. And what does that mean? You can do token discovery. You can ask it, what are the tokens that smart money are buying on Solana or on any chain that you want to look at? You can perform due diligence. Tell me more about INA. Tell me more about Pengu. Who's buying Pengu? Who's selling it? You can get explainers on price. If one of your tokens is up by a lot, you can ask why. Why is my token going up today? And it'll go out, look on chain, and also look on X, as well as the web, and give you a report in seconds of why the price has moved. You can get a portfolio review of your own portfolio, which I'll show you in a minute. You can input addresses directly into the chat, and you'll get an explanation of what the addresses are. And you can even use it as a block explorer. You can paste in a transaction hash, and in less than a few seconds, you get an explanation of what this transaction is, and maybe who actually did it. Now, you might say, I already have AI products. I have ChatGPT, I have Claude, I might have Gemini or Grok. So what's the point of downloading Nansen AI from the App Store? Well, let me show you. Let's take some side-by-side comparisons on a couple of prompts you might make as an on-chain investor. And I'll start with a simple example. Let's imagine you're pasting in a transaction. Here I'm showing ChatGPT. We've pasted in a transaction hash. What is the output going to be? This looks like an Ethereum address. Thank you, ChatGPT. What I can do for you depends on what you want to know. And effectively, if you run through this process, you get a very underwhelming response, frankly, because ChatGPT does not have eyes on the chain. What does it look like if you use Nansen AI? I paste in the transaction hash. Boom. This is a 500,000 Tether transfer from OKX to Binance that occurred today. Here's the sender, here's the recipient, here's the amount, here's the purpose that it infers. This is likely an inter-exchange transfer. Immediately, you have an X-ray vision on chain, and you get this in seconds. So now you have an agentic block explorer at your fingertips. Let's look at another use case, discovery. Let's say you're using Gemini for this. Find the top 5 tokens on Solana last 24 hours based on smart money activity. Gemini thinks a little bit and outputs, unfortunately, I can't really help you with that because it does not have eyes on chain. Now, what does Nansen AI do? It actually goes and looks on chain. It looks at the addresses that Nansen has labeled as smart money and figures out, here are the top 5 smart money tokens in the last 24 hours. By the way, this is an old screenshot, so be careful about buying any of these tokens. But you could do this literally in the last 5 minutes, in the last 15 minutes, because all of the transactional data is real time in Nansen AI. So it's pretty amazing. And it's a totally different way to look at what's happening on chain. Now, I can show you a lot of these examples, right? But you might want to get a more quantitative view. On this chart, you're seeing the time it takes to get a response on the x-axis. On the y-axis, the quality of the response. And we have run our own evals, our own benchmarks internally for our agent. It has 2 modes, a fast mode and an expert mode. As you can imagine, the fast mode gives you a quick response. The expert mode takes a bit of time, longer time, but gives you a higher quality response. And when we run our evals for on-chain investing related tasks against the leading AI models that don't have access to our data, you can see them at the bottom there, right? Some of them are fast, some of them are slow, but what's common is that the quality of the responses are going to be low for on-chain investing. They're fantastic products, they're just not built and optimized for on-chain investing. Even the fast mode of Nansen gives a response that is many times better in quality than any of the other models. And if you go with expert mode and you're willing to wait maybe 20, 30, 50 seconds, you'll get about 20 points higher quality in the response. And actually, just yesterday, we made a new release to make it a few points better on both fast and expert mode than what you're seeing in this chart. Now, there's another thing with Nansen AI which is very exciting. It is also the world's best portfolio tracker for on-chain. What does that mean? It means you can input all of your addresses for all of the chains where you're active and get one unified view in real time of all your holdings. Whether you just hold the tokens or they're in DeFi protocols or you own NFTs. You have a full transaction history for every chain, so you can see everything you've done across all the chains in one unified view. And why did we put these two things together, an AI agent and your portfolio tracker? Because it unlocks personalized alpha. What this means is that when you've activated your portfolio in Nansen AI, you get different recommended prompts and you get different responses from the agent because you have a different portfolio than I have and you have a different transaction history. And so this means that everyone gets their own personalized alpha. And you just have to try it out to experience what it's like. Immediately, when you've set up your portfolio, sadly, this portfolio is down at the day of the screenshot. However, you can see that there are pre-created prompts that are personalized. And the first card that you see there is, why is staked ETH down today? And the reason is that this portfolio has its largest token, which is staked ETH. In other words, you get a very fluid user experience where you don't have to think about what to prompt because Nansen AI has already recommended a prompt for you. You paste in addresses you want to track, you get personalized prompts, you simply tap on it, and you're off to the races, working with an AI agent to explore all the blockchains that you use. And this is what it looks like when you tap it. Why is staked ETH down today? And you get an explanation of why staked ETH is down. This is the fast mode. If I ran expert mode, I would get a much longer and detailed explanation. So, we think this product is the beginning of a new way to invest and a new way to trade, and it starts today.